repeat this again in a second, but let me just go over Bitcoin really quickly. All right. So last video, I discussed that we were going to have a pullback, but the trend so far has been that pullbacks have been, shallow, right? And we've had multiple dips where that, was pretty evident. So if we take a look at this on a low time frame, everyone's, wanting a 10K pullback, 5K pullback to get in, the CME gap at 81 to 77, but this whole entire move up, right? Like even on these ones, we're getting small retraces for pushing or building up that liquidity to push higher, right? Like this is the first major pullback that we've had. Okay, the first one. Now it's pretty understandable for it to happen at a giant psychological level of 100K, but we haven't really lost any momentum here in terms of the impulsive move or this whole entire rise up being over. This can easily go back to, and I discussed this, right? Taking out, let's use this one, taking out these lows, right? And then grinding higher. Now, don't be fooled by, Twitter, YouTube influencers, whatever, saying that local top is in, so on and so forth. You have to understand, going back to last cycle, that even in bull markets, and I know I've said this before, but I want you guys to imprint this into your heads, even last bull run, which started for me, right, once we had that break from here, so back in March of 2020, we had multiple dips of 20+%. All right, it's nothing new. It's going to happen this cycle. It'll happen like maybe like four more times, in my opinion, of 20% or greater. All right, we haven't had this yet. We're having small, shallow dips, and that's because this cycle is different from last because we have ETFs, institution inflow, and so on and so forth. So, will we get a 20% dip? Yes, I think we will see like two or three, in my opinion. Will it happen now? Well, if we take it from the highs to the lows, right, this is a 20% dip to 77, 78K, which in fact does fill that CME gap. Okay? So if you have dry powder, if you have, bids just waiting to be filled, this is a perfect time to set those stink bids because of the low volume during the holidays. You can see, capitulation wicks, liquidity cascades and stuff like that. So setting limit bids on all your favorite coins or projects that you want to get in at lower prices these next 5 to 6 days, in my opinion, are a great way to get into it, because again, you could have something like this happen, right? You could have, where is it? Like this, right? Where we have a huge sell-off and then V reversal back up. All right, so go ahead and set your limit orders. I've set my stink bids waiting for the holidays, but don't rule out, this 85K sweep. Now, going into a lower time frame, if we're just talking about our range, this is our range. All right, we have the highs, right? And we're falling back currently with a giant deviation. If we close back under here, it's most likely going to be this range here. So we have our mid-range somewhere around here, right? Around 89, 88K, 88.5K. And then we have our range lows at the 85K level, all right? So if we close below here, it's going to be confirmation plays as such. All right. Now this looks very similar to One sec, let's get the daily. Okay, looks very similar to it's on a lower time frame, but I don't want to keep scrolling to find it, right? So we had the break above, and we can talk about this range here, right? Break above, back down. Deviation, back down. Okay, same thing, but your range low is actually here. Okay, same thing could be forming here where we have this push up, right? Here's that push up with a deviation back below. Here's your mid range, right? So this can easily come back down to the mid-range level at 89K. That's where you want to bid or start buying, in my opinion. It doesn't matter if we continue to come down. This is still putting in on a macro time frame, right? Here is another higher high. We can even come back down to the 70K region, put in another higher low, and still continue to grind higher, right? But it is at this point, because look how oddly similar this looks to this last run. And I keep saying this, that this is the last leg up, right? We have this first leg up, okay, come back down, put in a higher low, double bottom, made a higher high, right? I think we get one more move down to whatever the higher low is, and that final higher high that we put in is my cycle top. Okay, I drew redacted Elliott waves talking about how that level is around 105 to 115. We can go higher, but as soon as we break that structure, right, that is why I'm going to sell, and I don't care if we go higher. I will start selling my positions and slowly start to scale out. If we continue, to grind higher, then I'll buy higher with confirmation. But my long-term bags, I will start to sell around 105 to 115 if we get there, right? So lower time frame, okay. Fall back below. Let's go back to 2 hour. Fall back below. You're looking for something like this, right? A short with stops above here, target 89 or 88.5, and then the range low levels. All right, and if you're playing the range, you have multiple multiple different plays that you could set up. Now watch the range low level, because as I mentioned, we could easily go and sweep this. Okay, you're looking for that sweep to happen and close back above the range low to take that entry. This is not a limit order. This one can be limit order. This one is a confirmation as well. Go back up, reject, market short with the stops above here, target 1, 2, and then this one you're looking for the sweep here, close above, market long, stops below the wick, give yourself like an extra $300 cushion, and you're going to target 1 and then 2. All right. So I'm not really looking for positions in Bitcoin in terms of like leverage here. I think the focus is going to be on alts moving forward. If Bitcoin can just range from 93K down to 89K for a few weeks, allowing alts to run, that would be the most ideal situation. Let me just put this in chats really quickly. But also, as I mentioned, BTC dominance. Okay. So remember that I said 61 to 60% was my top for Bitcoin dominance. I've been saying it in chats, in my channel, on Twitter, on YouTube since August, maybe before that. But we hit the weekly resistance here. Okay. Weekly resistance. We even had a supply zone here. Perfect rejection from the supply zone. And I don't know if you guys have seen the charts for Bitcoin dominance. Let me grab that. But I want you guys to see it here while I'm speaking. Copy. All right. So as Bitcoin dominance decreases, as the price of Bitcoin decreases, right, alts are staying stable, and we can see that. Like, I mean, Bitcoin's almost at 91K, and earlier this morning, when Bitcoin was at 92 or whatever, Sol was at 225. We're below that, and Sol's at 229, right? So alts are holding stable. And we just want Bitcoin to stay stable for alts to increase, or as dominance keeps decreasing here, maybe goes back to the trend line around 57.5%, Bitcoin slowly increases, just slowly, for alts to have their shine. All right. So, like I said, like right now, this. Let me remove this drawing. All right. This looks pretty bearish to me. Most likely we head back on a lower time frame. We're on support right now, but hopefully we head back down to this trend line here. This should allow alts to run another 5 to 10% on the large caps, and then the coins that have been holding really well are going to get that push. So you want to focus on coins that are doing really well on this Bitcoin dip, because when Bitcoin rebounds, those are going to rebound harder. What does that mean? Look at alt BTC pairings. All right. Now let's jump into ETH really quickly. Okay, ETH holding really well, right? Like we were at yesterday or 2 days ago, we were at like 98K, and ETH, right, was at 35. Bitcoin has lost 7K, and ETH has only lost $100 or $200, right? So the only issue that I have with ETH right now, this is my spot chart, one sec. Okay, the only issue that I have with ETH right now is that we are at this major, everything that I went over in my video has played out. Like this is a broadening wedge, right? We rejected right from the top of it. Also, like I said, major resistance level here. Okay, we need to stay above 3,400 to flip this resistance into support to go higher. Otherwise, I am looking for a pullback into this region. Nothing has changed from my analysis here. It's just more of a patience game. I'm looking for either one, a retest of this SR point that we broke out from, so around 3209. Stops, the stops that I got here, it's a scalp stop based on a 1 hour time frame. Okay, so stops are like below here, because if we get stopped out, this larger swing is going to go into play. Right, so this order block hasn't been filled yet. Come back down. This is a previous range. Most likely play this DCA down to these range lows and hopefully target new highs if Bitcoin can run. All right, so two separate plays here. I wouldn't really get into anything here. This one actually did, this 2 hour candle here, swept all of these lows. So this could actually continue to grind a little bit higher. Rejection probably happens around 3,400. If I were to say, we've had rejection, deviation back down, deviation back down. So 3,400 still proves to be very strong resistance. If you guys want to take a Degen short, this would most likely be it. So entry around 34.14, stops around 34.79, and again, we're going to keep playing it until broken. So here is the multiple plays for ETH. My chart looks like a Skittle. Kind of hungry. I want Skittles now. All right. All right. Now let's take a look at this Bitcoin. So Sol has lost low time frame structure. All right. We were making higher highs with higher lows here, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? If we're talking about this being our last higher low, we have now made a lower low. So, if you have played my breakdown of how I, play the breakdown and retest, this was your perfect short opportunity, right? Now, let's draw some magical fibs here, okay? If this was our last higher high, we have the bearish Quasimodo pattern. Okay, so any shorts into this 246 to 249 region, which is also a supply zone slash golden pocket here, is a scalp short waiting to be taken. Whoa, wrong one. Okay. So there's option one. All right. Now, if this is lost here, we're looking, this might not even go back up that high to make a lower high, but this could easily, on a lower time frame, right, and take lower time frame shorts with smaller positioning. Okay, we have a supply zone there. Okay, something like that. Now, in terms of longs, we have a demand zone, which briefly got tapped, but we still have a lot of liquidity to be taken. There is an SR point that actually hasn't been touched. Here is a long. Okay. All right. These are the only things that I'm saying for Sol on a low time frame. This was the hour. This was a 4 hour. This was a 4 hour. But in terms of spot positions, my entry filled. My next ECA is around 200 and Hail Mary bids at 185. I don't think we see 185 unless we have a capitulation wick. Like I said, low volume over the weekend and holiday season. You could see a giant sell-off with a V reversal back up. So set your stink bids just in case. Sol. Okay. Where is he going? After this cycle, I will be stepping away from Discord and content creation and, yeah, basically retiring from the whole industry. 9 years is too long. Going to the beach. I will have a Tony Soprano ending. It's going to leave you guys on a cliffhanger and be like, what the fuck was that? Alright, so let's jump into a few coin suggestions. Now, not everything is going to make it. I'm going to pick coins that actually have, in my opinion, some merit behind it. So most meme coins are dead. I'm not going to look at those. So just strong projects. There's 65 of you. I have about 25 minutes left. I'm going to do a quick run through as many as I can. If I don't pick your coins, don't feel bad. You're nothing special. I'm joking, but I'm going to try to get as much as I can. Do you see? Okay, whiff was actually one coin I wanted to cover, so let's take a look. I haven't changed these lines in forever. That was the original entry. We had a huge 60% move up. Let's do a clean chart. Okay. All right. So very, very, very important level for whiff here. All right. Everything. So memes got hit hard, right? Memes are completely obliterated, and profit taking has been, been done on them and moved into actual utility coins. So this is a very important level. Do I think it holds? I don't like this cluster here. I don't like how we've been, consolidating on a lower time frame on this support. Here was our range, right? Range highs, range lows. We've had multiple touches of these range lows. If Bitcoin dips, this takes a harder hit. Now, is there a BTC pairing? There is. Right. This also looks disgusting. Um, it's on support here. So lose this. They're both on support. So this is the only area where it could run. Otherwise, you are seeing 252 down to $2.20. Right. Now, keep in mind that this is the inverse head and shoulders retest. Right. Actually, multiple retests. We had the breakout. There's the retest. This continued grind higher. Third, fourth support touch. We have a bearish engulfing candle. My gut says this goes lower. How much lower? Yeah, golden pocket. 786 fib is at the 2.509. So this would be the area where you would. And if you're playing, like, see this took all this liquidity up here. If you're playing the range, there's your mid-range, and there is your range high. I'm not placing my stop above that wick. That's just terrible risk management. Somewhere above here. Very, very tight stop. Okay. Something like that. This would be a more high risk play because we already had multiple touches from range low into rejections. So this one is a more high risk play. If anything, this would be a better setup. Okay. So 2313 is your entry. Stops at 3.42ish, and you're targeting a move back down to range lows. And we're going to play the range until broken. And this is your swing trade. Vanry looks really good. Gaming coins, also AI. But the problem with Vanry right now is if the daily closes as such, we have taken the highs out. We have made an SFP. Right, so this can easily come back down. I'm going to go to a lower time frame. Even fill the order block here. One sec. Yeah, I like this. I don't like this candle. You could have, here's your support, right? If this was your 1 hour range, right? Highs, lows, again, lows, highs, highs, lows. This is your the risk reward is not great there. I just play the range lows. I don't like these wicks either. This would be more of a spot coin. Now if we close back below the range, close back below the range, turn it into resistance, right? That's a market short. Stops. Fuck. Okay. And then you have your swing play here. Popcat was, oh nice, nice $1,000 bounce. Notice how Sol is up $3 when Bitcoin bounced 1,000, right? Alts are pumping much higher. Another thing that I want you guys to keep aware of is you see Bitcoin spot price, you see these perp prices, there's a $200 variance, all right? People are selling, Coinbase is selling. People are margin longing here, right? So this discrepancy, this happened yesterday when I said, that the spot price was leading. It still is at a discount here. I don't think the dip is over. This whole entire rebound or relief bounce is just led by perps. So be careful if you're trading until this stabilizes. I don't think the dip is completely over. Right? We were at 93.2k when I it happened a little bit higher, but when I pointed it out, yeah, I mean $200, that's a lot. Now Popcat has lost the trend. This coin looks like dog. I'd be looking to short any bounces on this. Whoa. Okay. Targeting this demand zone here. Basically, any push up into this region, the supply zone, should continue to grind higher, right? Now we can easily come back down to support and bounce from here for a quick scalp. Something like that. Otherwise, if you really want to add to your position for spot, don't even leverage this one. For spot, this is going to be your area, right? We had major resistance here. We actually never retested it. Your buy zone is going to be from $1.06 down to 90 cents. I'm going to make this the money zone. Whoa. Okay. That would be Popcat for you. S Fund, absolutely not. Don't even know what it is. Link also one that I covered on my last video. Right, we had a huge move up into the supply zone. I honestly am looking for a pullback into this previous SR point, and that's the only area where I'll be looking to buy Link. Like these candles are crazy. $15 and 41 cents down to 13.77 is your money zone. I'm trademarking that. Any analyst takes it moving forward, they owe me $10 every time they say it. Money zone. All right. Again, we had a breakout. We never had the retest. There's a lot of confluence here saying that we're going to come back into this region, right? Order block in the buy zone, perfect area. Now, this hasn't lost structure yet, technically, right? This is all making higher highs and higher lows. So we're looking for this lower high to be confirmed, and then something like this, right? Come back down, make another higher low there, and then start the grind much higher. Doge, same thing, just a clear range. Now, right, we have the deviation, close back below. There was your rejection. We are at mid-range here. We're going to treat it as such. Nothing has changed. It's a range. This should bounce from here, mid-range to range highs. There's your range highs. Okay. Next, if this is lost, you're looking at range lows. So we're not going to aim for lower levels. We're going to play the range until broken. Now for this one, if you're taking a leverage trade, be careful of these liquidity pockets here, right? Because if these are swept and you set your limits there, you can get stopped. So best to do is wait. If we reject here, right? Wait for this lows to be swept, close back above here, then you long with your stops with whatever wick or below whatever wick is created. Right? It's too late to long here. We were at range highs back down. Right? We bounced from mid range. This gave a 7% move. Now we're consolidating at mid range. Never play anything at consolidation on mid range. You have to wait. The next level is either wait till range lows or we play the short at range highs. I am not taking any of these. Any trades that I personally take will be in my channel. All right, so just keep that in mind. All right. Yeah, I think we can take that. Okay, so there is Dogecoin. BNB. S Fund sounds like a shit project. I'm not looking at it. I'm sorry. What the fuck is S Fund? Sex Fund? All right. Okay. So this was the important level I think I discussed in my video. I don't have, charts drawn like this without reason. So we bounced, DCA filled. This was an order block. It was also a very important SR level that we held. Now, if the candle closes like this, I think that is if you're not in, if you want to long, this would be your setup. Now, I'm gonna move this over to about like 650-ish. Now, this one, very, very risky here because if this level is lost, very, very important level, right? We have a market structure break to the downside. At that point, you are looking for the bearish retest to short with stops somewhere above here, targeting the range lows. Well, not range lows, but support here. Right? So confirmation, we break down, rejection, short stops somewhere above here, looking for a move down to 555. Now back to my spot chart. Okay. These are bearish candles. A bearish engulfing candle. Basically, what we did in 4 days, we're retracing in 2 days. Right? So, yeah, we have to bounce at 582. Actually, we have to bounce here. This is a very important support level for a move up. Otherwise, you are seeing that 550 level. I'll put this chart here for you guys. A lot of coins are on their do or do not lines. Say is one that I'm very interested in. Yeah, see, this is a coin that you want to bid on pullbacks. Okay, while every other coin is down, this is making new highs. So this is probably the strongest coin in the market. I did purchase yesterday on the dip, but very crucial resistance point. When this came out, right, with Sui, they used to run together. Okay, we had a cup and handle. There's the breakout. There's the retest. Technical targets of this cup and handle are about to be met. This is one coin that, in my opinion, you should all have in your spot bags for the next 2 months. I think new all-time high is coming for this. So it really doesn't matter what your entry is. If we're looking for a 2x from here, it doesn't matter if you buy, at 69 cents, wink wink, or around 64 cents. It doesn't matter if you're off by cents. So stop trying to time positions and entry prices and have high time frame invalidations. What does that mean? Like for me, I'm buying here down to 51, and if we are going to close back below this previous range, right, reject, then I'm looking to manually cut my position. All right, so that's how I play it. Whereas I see a lot of people are like, hey, I'm going to wait until this 58-cent level is reached. When a coin runs, when it's strong, and when especially if it's in an uptrend, retests don't have to happen, and if they do happen, it could take a long time, right? So, example of that, right? Like Link. If we're talking about this retest here, this exact retest level never hit. It might have hit on perps, but not on spot. So you're risking out on trying to, not be into a position because you're waiting for exact levels. On spot, from this level, I think this is achievable over the next 2 months. So 80% spot gain. I'm not going to call this out in my channel because I've already have too many plays, and I've called about 30 plays this month, which is double what I usually call. So I bought a bag yesterday, and I will buy all the way down to 52 cents. And for those watching that are here today, I think this can do an 80-cent from current price, or if we go lower, at least 100% move from 60 cents. All right. But if we're looking at it technically, we are at resistance here. So any pullbacks to this level for leverage traders, right? 60 cents. We already retested it, so it might be hard. 65 down to 62 cents would be your leverage position. We have a bull flag that is about to break out. Target of that bull flag is around 82, 83 cents. Just an FYI. There's the breakout, there's the retest. Yeah, 60, 83 cents. If Bitcoin continues to grind higher, this will be a very strong coin. Also, whoa. Oh, that's Bitfinex. Fuck Bitfinex. One sec. Look at this. You have a possible, right? This isn't a cup and handle because the handle's already more than 40%, but you have a round, a like weird double bottom forming here. Adam and Eve, right? We are at resistance here. So if this breaks out, the USDT pairing is going to go ballistic. I'm just letting you know. This chart looks very bullish. Target of this is around 43%. So watch this. The BTC pairing in the last 2 weeks has gone up 60%, whereas the USDT pairing has gone up in the last 2 weeks 53%, right? So imagine this going up another 43%. You can bang your buck that this will hit all-time highs on the USDT pairing. Is this a spot play or a perp play? You can choose whatever you want. You can take, you can take these in spot positions as well, right? You can take that. Obviously you can't short on spot, but you can go short 1x, 2x, which is basically spot, but you can take this on a spot position. I just checked, say BTC. Very bullish. All right. I'm going to do 2 more coins, and they're both going to be AI coins. So the first one's going to be Render and FET. Okay. Ironically, this guy has both of them, but these are the last 2 coins. So I do think eventually that this niche will run. Okay. We had a bull flag. This is not a cup and handle. The handle is below 40% of this. I did buy or add to my long-term port for FET. I'm not going to be updating that anytime soon. Everyone wants updates after like a 1 or 2% move down. You're not getting it, but this is a very important level for FET to bounce, right? Obviously, it's been hit hard. I do think that we get a bounce anywhere between here down to $1.20-ish. I do think that this is a coin that people should have in their portfolio. Looking at this on a higher time frame, right? Look at this consolidation since June. Okay, looks oddly similar to say BTC here. Okay, again, not a cup and handle, but nothing bearish about this consolidation. I do think eventually, it's putting in also higher lows, right? So just get above this level and it will be a party down to 250 or up to 250. Okay, so anything up to $1.20 in my opinion is a buy on this. On leverage, I wouldn't touch this right now. So buy now. You can look at my chart and my channel, but buy now basically. Here's your money zone. AI will run eventually, and this is going to be Last but not least, render. All right. This looks okay. We have a rising wedge here, similar to Sol when it was here, right? Here's the target of the falling wedge. Basically almost right to it. Here's render. We have broken down, even retested. Here is the support. Okay. After that, you have literally nothing up until this level. So currently this looks bearish, but we have a market structure break. Right here is your range. There's the breakout. So anything down to $6.68 to here is a buy. Right, this can easily come back down, put in another higher low, and grind the higher. Again, this will run as well. I like FET better. Whoops. Here is your money zone. Now if we fall back here, it's going to be deviation of this range, right? But I think it holds the mid-range, puts in a higher low, and then grinds higher. Now let me see something. One sec. Before I do that, let me post this chart because I am going to delete this. I'm not going to buy into render. Okay. See how we broke structure? Right. If this is our last lower high, right? There's the break. So anything, like I said, anything to retest that is a beautiful buy entry. Here is the technical target of render. Okay. Don't let short-term price actions persuade you from the bigger picture. I didn't really draw anything here, but here's the okay. So that's it from me.